Northwood takes on Kentucky Wesleyan this weekend at Kentucky Wesleyan. This is a Northwood team that is 6-1 on the year. Kentucky Wesleyan is 0-7 on the year. This is a Kentucky Wesleyan team that has been struggling this year, obviously not having the season that they probably want to have. This is a team that has been shut out 3 of the last 4 games that they have played in conference play. Only time they've put up points was 3 points against Ohio Dominican. This is an offense for Ohio Wesleyan that is only averaging 5 points per game. It's truly an offense that is going to be really heavily reliant on the leading receiver in a guy named Camron Brogan. Camron has been great this year. He is by far their leading wide receiver, 439 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's going to be a guy that Northwood is obviously going to have to keep an eye on for. But this is a Northwood defense that I've talked about several times. This is a secondary that has been very, very good this year. So I fully expect them to have an eye on Camron throughout this game. I think they're going to try to obviously eliminate him. And then you really look at what Kentucky Wesleyan has going offensively besides him. It's been a real difficult sled for them. It's been running the ball hasn't been great this year. You have a guy in Emmanuel McRae, 152 yards, Dominic Hollis, 144 yards. This is an offense that really truly is going to want to get it over to a guy in Camron Brogan. And if he doesn't, if you look at just what they're doing offensively, 54 yards on the ground, 172 yards through the air. A lot of those obviously is through Camron. And it's going to truly be really hard, in my opinion, for this Kentucky Wesleyan team to try to put up points on this Northwood defense, because I've talked a lot about guys like, again, Cole Simpson. I've talked about guys like Avari Thomas. Talked about several different guys on this Northwood team that has been really good for the secondary. It's truly been a lot of those guys that have been making huge impact plays for this Northwood defense, and I think they're going to continue to do so. I think Kentucky Wesleyan is going to struggle scoring, and I think this is a Kentucky Wesleyan that if you look at their side when it comes to defense, they've been giving up about 36 points a game. This is a Northwood offense that can do it through the air, run it a little bit as well with Ethan Hampy. I think it's going to be a defense that's going to give a little bit more effort and more physical play than maybe what they have been showing this year. I think they're gaining a little bit of confidence, even though they've been shut out 3 of the last 4 games. I think they're going to play physical. The secondary sounds like it is pretty decent from talking with someone that has been kind of keeping an eye on this team. It's truly going to be through running the ball. I think Northwood's going to try to attack this Kentucky Wesleyan defense. They give up over 200 yards on the ground, only 160 yards through the air. So I do want to keep an eye on that, because if you really look at what Northwood has done offensively, it's been pretty balanced, but a little bit more heavy when it comes to passing the ball. I've talked about how Ethan Hampy has been really good at protecting the ball. I think they're going to try to obviously run the ball. It's been a defensive line that has been a little bit of an issue for Kentucky Wesleyan. If Ethan can continue to keep the ball protected and this Northwood team can run the ball effectively on Kentucky Wesleyan, I think this is going to be a game that probably won't be very close. Obviously, I did mention at the very beginning, I do think it's a game that you can't overlook. This team, this is a year that you're having Northwood that you're very thrilled about, and this is on the road. It's never easy to win on the road in conference. Every team has gone through it. There might be some games that are really close, and I think this is just a real opportunity for Northwood to not keep looking down the schedule, because it's about taking it week by week. I think on paper, I think just the overall talent between both of these teams, I think there's just a lot more ways for Northwood to attack Kentucky Wesleyan than the other way around. I think Kentucky Wesleyan is going to solely be dependent on throwing the ball. I don't think they're going to be able to throw the ball very effectively. I think they're going to try to probably double team, maybe put their best cover guy on Kentucky Wesleyan's best wide receiver, which is Camron Brogan. They're going to probably be really physical with him. Sounds like things struggle when he isn't getting a ton of yards, when he isn't getting a ton involved. So I feel like that's, again, going to be kind of their goal, is to fluster him a little bit and try to see if someone else can beat him. And if you look at throughout this year, no one else has been able to really, truly step up. So if Kentucky Wesleyan wants to pull off this upset, you're either going to need someone else to step up, you're going to need other guys to make plays, or Camron Brogan's going to have to go off in this game, and I truly feel a lot more confident about Northwood being able to stop him than him going off and Kentucky Wesleyan getting the win. But because of all that, I think Northwood's going to win this game. I think Northwood's going to be prepared. I think Northwood's just going to be able to score on this Kentucky Wesleyan defense. I think they're going to be able to run it on them. I don't think they've necessarily played a pass attack exactly like this Northwood team. I think they've played some really good opponents. I think those opponents have been able to put up points. I think they're going to continue to have that happen against them this week against Northwood. But yeah, pretty confident about that pick. But like in college athletics, you never necessarily know exactly what happens. Kentucky Wesleyan can obviously gain a lot of momentum. They could be really excited for this game. They could realize that, hey, their season's coming down and there's a real possibility for winning in any of these weeks. It seems like they're gaining a little bit of confidence according to the person I talked to. So you never know what confidence can do, but I truly think that Northwood's going to win this game. I think the secondary is going to be able to shut down this passing game, and I think Northwood's going to be able to run the ball pretty effectively, and I think they'll still be able to throw the ball on this Kentucky Wesleyan team. But if you enjoyed this content, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, I love talking about Northwood. Obviously, I think Northwood's going to win. I'm obviously going to be cheering for Northwood in this one. I just think Northwood, overall, talent-wise, has way too much for this Kentucky Wesleyan team, and I think they just have too much to give the ball to than Kentucky Wesleyan has kind of one guy. And they do have a pretty decent quarterback, Kentucky Wesleyan does. You have Harrison Bush. He has 937 yards on the year. Now his touchdown to interception ratio isn't very good, but 3 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. He's been decent outside of that. Like, he has a decent amount of yards, but it's truly been a lot of those to, again, the guy in Camron Brogan. But because of all that, it's just Northwood's game. And yeah, if you enjoy this, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, comment, all that kind of stuff. I'll obviously recap this game, talk about what happened in this game, but make sure to let everyone know about it. If you enjoy Northwood football, I'll obviously talk more about them. But yeah, thanks for everyone for tuning in, and make sure to tune in to the recap that's happening later this week or early next week.